How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Adriatico, the Tier 8 Italian destroyer. Adriatico, one of the destroyers that I would probably consider to be one of the worst at Tier 8, but mostly because, Tier 8, when you have to consider what's the best and what's not, you're going against stuff like Katsanis, Lucian, Sumner, Kita, Hayate, Minigumo, but yeah, a lot of other destroyers that are just like way above the Adriatico skill level, and the ease of use as well. Adriatico, honestly, we can probably compare this more to like a Meteor or a Delny. Like, it is very much more so a gunboat than anything else. A gunboat that you probably need to rely on your teammates to spot basically everything while you sit in your exhaust smoke and farm, I suppose. Italian torpedoes, they're not like YOLO torps where they do massive damage. These are very weak, very slow, and they don't really do a whole lot. You kind of just dump them and hope they hit something. In this match, we get the middle spawn, we went to B, but it seems like everything has just abandoned and went to either flank, so we're kind of in a decent position to kind of choose where we want to go. And we decided to go to the side that looked like they had more ships, but also the side that apparently has the destroyers, as we see a smoke screen starting to appear at C, so we can probably assume, well, at least one of the two of them are there. So we're just going to push over that way. We also have a friendly destroyer there as well. So ideally, that DD can spot for us while we use our exhaust smoke and basically shoot whatever it is that we need to shoot at. Enemy saw him get spotted, so we're trying to close the distance now and get into a position where we can actually shoot. Adriatico sap, definitely going to be the ammunition that you shoot at enemy ships in general. The HE is a bit anemic, and you kind of do need the increased alpha that the sap gives, but it is obviously a lot lower than I feel like most people probably would want it, because, well, if it doesn't have a higher alpha, then the DPM won't beat a lot of the good destroyers' HE DPM. So it is kind of niche, and it is also reliant on them being broadside enough where your pen angles can give you that damage. Otherwise, you'll ricochet, and then you won't really do anything. Unfortunately, our friendly destroyer ends up dying, FDG just charging in. We dumped a bunch of torps for the FDG and also the Wisconsin, hoping that they would hit someone, but I think FDG running sonar and these torps being as slow as they are, he's able to turn away, but turning away means that he's broadside to our whole team at sea. So he's eating a lot of damage from them, and basically he lost all of his HP. Hopefully our team can kill him before he gets away and goes back to their spawn. Enemy Wisconsin ends up beaching. We dump torps. These are very slow, so I'm kind of expecting him to get off the island and maybe push forward again. At least that's what I'm expecting, but on the other hand, it's also possible that he just straight reverses away all the way to the back of the spawn again, as that is the gameplay of Legends and prop mod not being fixed for 7 years. So we dump the torps, we just hope for the best, and we start farming the FDG, hoping to kill him off. Unfortunately, the dude has a secondary build, and his secondaries are actually hitting us, so not the greatest situation. Adriatico and the DDs in general not having more range on their main battery than battleship secondaries, or some cruiser secondaries as well, does kind of suck. And at least FDG finally left secondary range, so now we can try to go unspotted and maybe find these other destroyers. We have a friendly battleship just YOLOing on in. I think it's a Rhode Island. There is a DD in front of him, but I think he already used his radar. So now we're going to slowly push in with him. Hopefully he can spot things for us, and then we can farm once again. We're keeping an eye on that enemy Iwami because we're hoping he gets out of our main battery firing range soon, and then we can start shooting while being unspotted. So now that the enemy DD smoked up in front of that Wisconsin, we can start shooting our guns and not be spotted. But yeah, we do have a build that is going to be very reliant on teammate spotting. So basically we're just not doing anything different than we would otherwise. We're using Giuseppe with Squid's Ink. So basically we have an exhaust smoke that lasts over a minute, and again we're just spotting and hoping that our teammates can sorry, we're not spotting, we're farming and hoping our teammates will spot for us. Friendly battleship on a sliver of HP ends up spotting the enemy SOM, and that gives us enough time to kill him off, which is great, just before the friendly Rhode Island ends up dying. But enemy battleships just sailing around in spawn now, waiting for our teammates to push into sea. I'm hoping that they are at least spotted, which I think they are by the enemy Iwami, so that I can at least have something to shoot at. Otherwise we'd be in smoke, not spotting anything. No way to turn off exhaust smoke. Does kind of suck. I kind of wish exhaust smoke and the crawling smokes you could turn off if you absolutely needed to, but yeah, unfortunately that's not the case with these. So if there was nothing spotting for us, then we basically wouldn't be able to do anything. FDG, game returns, tries to go and duck for the island, but luckily the torps that we launched like 2 minutes ago, we're basically in the perfect spot for him, and the FDG ends up eating those torpedoes and goes down. The enemy Wisconsin also eats those torpedoes that were definitely spotted, and also gives us a bit of damage, getting us our 3rd stack of Epic Reload mod. I feel like epic mods and legendary mods on a lot of ships are absolutely necessary to make them even viable, especially Adriatico. Having a fairly slow reload to deal with, just because you have SAP, is kind of torturous sometimes. But Wisconsin ends up eating just barely enough damage to leave him on a sliver of HP, and that gives us an opportunity to go and finish him off after landing a couple of torpedoes and farming him with this RSAP while he was behind the smoke. Now there's enemy Yamato just trying to reverse away. Luckily Italian torps do have long range, and for having long range and these super slow torps, for Yamato reversing away as fast as he can is kind of nice, because at least, well, since he's just reversing away, it's kind of predictable that he's going to try and reverse away from our team pushing the flanks, so we're kind of in a good position to just farm. 10 more seconds and we get our 3rd exhaust smoke back, so then we can get into another position where we can just farm the battleship without getting spotted. Yamato turns away from the flank just enough that we're able to land 1 torpedo, and he starts flooding. He's starting to look at us again, so we end up using our exhaust smoke to avoid losing any more HP. Other flank, not looking so hot. There's still 3 enemy ships over there, and we only have 1 left. So judging by how many ships are still alive, and considering they still have 1 more DD alive, I'd rather make sure I conserve my HP so I don't just instantly die to what's left. And it is a Z46, so he may have his smoke and sonar left. So if I do accidentally somehow get caught, I'd rather have as much HP as I possibly can. Enemy Yamato finally decides reversing is not going to work, so he starts pushing forward, but it's a bit too late. He probably should have pushed in with his whole team, and he probably could have done a little bit more, but instead he just got focused down by like 4 ships and instantly died. But enemy kills off our last teammate at A. So there's still 3 ships left. There is a Kremlin, Blucher, and a Z46. Enemy DD did end up capping Bravo at some point. I have no idea where he went because he took so long to get into B. It was kind of strange that he took that long, especially in a German DD with smoke and sonar, but I don't know, might just be me. But anyway, now we have a chance to go back into B and try to flip this cap just to make sure that we have a cap advantage while we still have our points advantage, and I guess essentially make the gap even bigger, because I'm assuming our team that kind of lemming to C and barely pushed in at all might feel like they currently didn't do anything in this match and may just YOLO out to try and do whatever they can last because they think we're winning on points and they think that it's going to be an easy win. But that's a recipe for disaster and teammates throwing their ship away by trying to win harder. Enemy Blucher gets spotted. Our torps are reloading. At this point, it looks like he's just going to try to duck for the cap. So I just start turning away. We don't have the greatest concealment because we are using the gunboat commander. Not really trying to build into any concealment whatsoever either, because we were relying on just having our exhaust smoke to farm basically everything. So we dump our torps and we just try to stay on the edge of the cap as much as we possibly can, hoping that our torps catch the Blucher as well. Because realistically, I don't think he's going to just keep pushing in, considering that we do still technically have a ship advantage as well as battleships. So I don't think he really wants to. He also took a decent hit, so he is now trying to turn away from those battleships, trying to get behind the island. Unfortunately, the cap did get contested though, so we know that there is a Z-46 somewhere. Blucher didn't dodge those torps, so I can probably assume that the DD's not in front of him, and probably right on the other side of this island. I do have one exhaust smoke left, and I do have 4 kills. I very much so want to start smoking up and farming this Blucher, trying to secure our Kraken. But unfortunately, the DD contesting the cap and Blucher being so healthy, also not having anyone in a decent spot to spot the enemy ships for us, there's not really a chance for us to do much. So we leave the cap. We're going to waste a bunch of time just sitting there, probably get sonared by the DD and then farmed by the Blucher when they can't get shot at. But looking at the map, we have a friendly battleship just charging straight in, which is totally a great idea when you know there's a DD in the cap, and also a cruiser with torpedoes right on the other side of the island. Brilliant idea. He's full HP basically, and well, it's not looking too good for him. Kremlin though, scared, starts turning away. They're down on points. They're, well, even on ships. He has a DD alive that's right in front of him. He could very much easily just have kept pushing in towards the DD for support, but he decided to turn away. So Kremlin running basically is a non-factor in this battle. So we're just going to sit here. I'm assuming the DD is probably going to come around this island, especially because he did leave the cap eventually, because our battleship is pushing in, and I am assuming he's probably going to try to come around the corner. Friendly battleship just kept charging in towards ships with torpedoes, and he eats both Blucher and the Z-46 torpedoes and ends up dying extremely quickly. Would have been great if he was alive to maybe shoot at the Blucher or something, or maybe take some damage because the Z-46 came around the corner at the wrong time. I can't use my exhaust smoke because he does have his sonar active, so I just basically let him go unspotted and farm me for free. But we're not going to smoke up, we're just going to shoot the Z-46 and just try to kill him off. We're doing a good amount of damage, but unfortunately, friendly teammate ends up finishing him off. Musashi, being a little more intelligent than our Iwami was, and at least helped us out, but unfortunately we kind of missed out on our Kraken. But at this point, Blucher and both Kremlin were just kiting away, no pushing in. But like Blucher probably could have done a whole lot of damage if he actually just stayed nearby, pushed in, and maybe used his torpedoes for the Musashi, because at this point they're down on so many points and they actually just have to kill us. But Kremlin was running away, Blucher also still running away, he's unspotted. So we're just gonna sit here, we're gonna cap, we're gonna win. It's unfortunate that we can't get our Kraken, but I mean a 200k match in Adriatico, just farming the whole time, it's not too bad. Kremlin started to push in, but it looks like he's actually trying to turn away again. Zero bravery from this Kremlin that needs to push in. He's just gonna turn away, kind of hoping that Musashi just like dev strikes him for his cowardice, I suppose you could say. But Blucher also not really trying to push in either. Just trying to farm as much damage as he possibly can. Unfortunately though, Musashi on a broadside Kremlin gets 0 damage. So his salvo against the battleship, nothing hits. But then apparently against the DD, everything hit. Super unfortunate. But Blucher starts pushing out again. But he's turning away as soon as I start shooting. And I'm just trying to throttle jockey. We have more than enough HP that I don't think we have to worry about dying. Kremlin's behind the island, so he's not going to be able to do anything to us. And Blucher still just turns away, not trying to turn in to try and kill the DD, and I guess hope that the Musashi ends up dying or something. He just turns away to survive. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this battle. Enemy team a little afraid, even though our team tried their absolute best to throw. We were able to do 209,000 damage, pretty good amount of damage, and 4,100 XP. I think getting 3 caps, getting B cap twice had something to do with that. But also farming everything basically just in our exhaust smoke that lasted over a minute. But when I say this thing isn't good, probably one of the worst, is the fact that if you were to go against someone competent in a actual good DD, your exhaust smoke probably is basically going to be useless because, well, if you go unspotted, then he's probably going to go unspotted because they'll have smoke and probably sonar or radar as well. and the fact that because you have an exhaust smoke, you're very reliant on other teammates to spot for you. So if you're the only DD in the match, unless the enemy DD is a nincompoop, which is very possible, you might have a really, really bad time and might not be able to actually help your team. But yeah, anyway, we're using Giuseppe, Squid Zinc, basically a build that we can just farm 24/7. Went with Glass Cannon because, I don't know, for whatever reason, it feels like this thing's accuracy is very bad, especially when you use sap. So we're just trying to get as much accuracy as we can, the 10% grouping and then like the 5% dispersion. Losing HP, not the end of the world because we do have sims making up for that. We also went with Rather Be Torching just so that we can have a little more fire chance, at least, because obviously we're not really going to be using sap against the HE against destroyers, and we're rather going to be using sap. The HE fire chance was, well, more just so for battleships, which did come in handy against that enemy Yamato. But yeah, decent match in Adriatico. I don't think this is a commonality. This is very much a rare occurrence, but yeah, a good match nonetheless. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more. Share with your friends and leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, till next time, aloha.